we're probably going to see Jet on an up, blocking one of those two avenues, right? Maybe not so much Garage going into B side, but definitely either B main, and more likely what I'm going to expect to see is A long for Koala Noob and Dynamic to hold an aggressive angle down there. Usually at times too, we usually see a Sky helping on the other side, throw the guiding light, make sure that anyone who crosses into that way are going to be blinded out. So any which way for the attack, it's going to be a nightmare. But it's a nightmare I can't wait to see.
I mean, look at this setup. It's so interesting for the defense now. They leave B completely open, and that is honestly notoriously the easiest site to retake unless the enemy team has a Sage, which neither side does, so they don't have that benefit of the solid wall that they have to break down, and it seems like an A rush. They have that early info on the defenders as well.
A bit of a default at times too, going out towards C. A lot of the defenders distracted for Ghost. Heading towards Miniature here. Frenzy almost good for one. Ryan's finding the opening pick. But now, this is actually turning into a weird flank. Look at this. The dedication towards B now for the Mafia. There's a tripwire in the way. But it's going to meet the guys right away of Nismo and company. Guiding light to go through. Not much info to be gained just yet. But it's a game of catch-up though. Passing by B completely. Dynamic does find one. The controller now gone. Seaside completely in the control now of the Mafia. Critical. Waiting towards Garage. Recon Bolt is out. Gets destroyed immediately. Not much information to be gained towards B main. Oh no, but Dynamic, unfortunate on the other side. Nismo to take them down. It's going to leave it to 3 different attackers left. Kind of colluding together. Dim Sum to find one. More trains to go through. Definitely not going to be looking good for the Mafia going to this first round. Critical last left alive. Trying to find the shots on the chase, but it's not going to quite happen. It was a big adventure, Tala, but it looks like we've reached the end of the first pistol round.
That was a really awkward setup, I think, from Ghost Gaming, because at one point it just felt like they were attacking.
Yeah.
Like, they literally switched spots. The Mafia was on the C site, they were defending it, and for some reason Ghost was going in through Garage, and they were trying to get through the 2 attackers that were defending Garage. It was just so strange to me. But a good first round for Ghost Gaming, didn't lose too many lives, and we already see the judge coming out on this map. And, you know, it seems a little counterintuitive considering how large Haven is and how hard it is to get those close corners. But as an Astra, playing as a controller with your smokes and close angles, it actually is a really powerful gun on the site.
But where is it going to go? Looks like towards C. Chase blinded out. Doesn't want to give up their position just yet. A little bit of contention inside top Garage. Koala Noob coming to come through, blinded out, takes down Dynamic. Nismo by themselves on A, waiting for a gigantic rotate again. It's not going to come through. Critical to find one though inside of big window. And Ryan with that judge. It's a long angle, Tala. They might be able to make it work, but if they get detected, no, that Cypher's way too far away now. But look how loose Mafia are playing.
This is another really awkward setup, honestly. They're just all over the place. Like, we see the Sky already on the C site, and now Astra has to attack the Sky, but does able to get the kill, and Critical also able to trade one out though. Still Ghost Gaming with the player advantage now, 3-2, and the health bars are so low on the Mafia. Critical able to get 3, Chase trading that one immediately out, and now it's all up to Dim Sum Boy with only 4 HP and no stars.
Oh no, you're down to your essential basics here. You have to play this for raw gun skill and game sense alone. 23 seconds left. Nismo watching up top towards C, but look at this surprise, but not a welcome one. Nismo to take them down. That's 2-0 for Ghost.
Yeah, this is definitely a really interesting strategy that we see coming out from both these teams. They're just playing is the term fast and loose, because it seems like they're not really playing together. A lot of defaults, and it just like really awkward trades and gunfights because there's no one really there to like back them up, and there's not like a lot of utility being used for those flashy plays. It's very different from this last game we saw where they were playing very quickly, very aggressively, very decisively, just snappy rounds in general. But these are a little bit slower, and it seems like they don't really play as much of that aggressive play style.
Oh no, not much intel for Dynamic here. Great trains to come through for both teams. Koala Noob still behind Brick. Dogs should go through, but they're not expecting Dynamic, except a little too late there. Koala good for 1. It's going to be Mafia now down to 3. Almost an attempted flank towards Garage. Chase waiting for the re-rotate around. towards sewers. Looking to find maybe the aggressive peak. Able to be finding one, nearly to fall. One more they could potentially find. It's down to just miniature. Not really many places for miniature to go.
Really good peaks from KOALA this round, and that round was a little less awkward, but that was a really unfortunate, but it was so good from that Sova there to shoot out the Trailblazer so that KOALA's position isn't revealed and able to just dash right onto the site without losing a life, and that puts Ghost Gaming in a pretty good position. Mafia, no counter just yet, no reply to whatever strategy is coming out from Ghost Gaming. I'm not sure I have a name for it.
Yeah, it's definitely... There's no structured playbook, it feels like, from the Mafia, and that's perfectly fine. Problem is, though, when you go in individually, trades like that happen. The entire kill feed now has been green to red. You've lost out on most of your basics in terms of utility. Dim Sum stuck. It is a save round here, but Critical does pick up a Vandal. Last one alive, though, in a 1v3, Tala. They're surrounded. They don't have the spike, necessarily. 4-0.
The slow peek onto C Long. This is why I call C Long basically a death trap, because there are so many different angles that you can actually peek C Long from, and it's just, I don't know, it feels like, you know, riding to your death in a war. Just a little bit.
It's a microwave.
Yeah.
This goes here.
No way in, no way really out. So much heat going around you. I mean, what's the win condition right now for the Mafia, right? Because we're seeing that same exact kind of structure coming out from Ghost, where they're playing, I guess, fast and loose.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, they play both sites and they just leave B completely open, and it seems like the Mafia does have a little bit more of a defaulty playstyle here, but Koala Noob sneaking up with this operator is actually pretty precarious for Ghost Gaming, because that could get rid of the operator pretty quickly if they catch them off guard. But right now it's just individuals that seem to be pushing up a little bit more. Koala Noob does take out the Astra on the back line though, so that gets rid of the smokes for the Mafia, makes it a little hard to engage, but the information of the neural theft is going to help them out quite a bit. They know which site has been left open, but they haven't gone for the push just yet.
Not just yet. Spike is still not in the possession of the Mafia. Ryan behind the Nebula doesn't have much environmental cover up until now. Win, though, on the other side. Gonna go for the drone, looking to see if B could be the way to go. But the Mafia, they haven't made a dedicated choice yet, and there's still 40 seconds left.
Yeah, it's ticking down to 30. They still haven't picked up that spike. The Hunter's Fury is going to get a kill, so this puts the Mafia in a pretty good position, but the Bladestorm available on the other end. Koala Noob with the operator and a Bladestorm, and honestly a dream at this point. 1v4 situation. Don't know how this is going to go.
I think it comes down to whether or not we're going to see Koala Noob bring out the Bladestorm or not, but it looks like, though, up, hiding away. Probably Wells know at this point that the plan's going to go down on A. Wants to choose to maybe save? Yeah, Koala Noob's just looking for exits at this point. I mean, I don't blame them for saving the up. It had a great opening pick there, but just waiting around at the beginning of the round for the Mafia and then making that final choice towards the very end of the timer was a really good way of bringing back their first round.
Yeah, just playing a little bit slower. I think Ghosts got a little bit more impatient this round since they were used to the Mafia basically just running into their crosshairs those past few rounds. But now getting a first round on the board for themselves as soon as the spike detonates. And they don't want to hunt for Koala either. They seem to think that this is the first round they're winning, might as well play it safe, keep the guns that they can, and keep their economy intact rather than hunt down this one operator.
But that operator could be a huge point of contention going forwards, right? Koala Noob, you already don't expect a defender to play so far ahead inside of C Long that at this point it's going to be a huge guessing game unless the Mafia want to go through and use that initiator utility at the beginning of a round just to spot out Koala.
Yes,
and they could realistically be anywhere now.
This goes here.
They really could. I mean, it's really hard to tell how this next round is going to go, especially since Dynamic pulls out an operator of his own, and it's always exciting to see that operator, see if it can counter the one on the defense, and like really great show of like a flashy play, some skill shots as well. And the lurk onto A long is coming in, but they seem to be more postured towards the B site.
That Sova had a good chance of maybe finding their way, rotating around towards garage side, but the Nebula comes up and it's going to be very hard to see. KoalaNoob engages the Cypher though, and it seems like it's a huge distraction. That spike, excuse me, is dedicated towards garage, but the rotate may have been called. It's going to allow KoalaNoob to reposition themselves right near where that tripwire is, but they're not playing off of it.
Just no peaks just yet. Still playing very slow, very careful. Winning that last round hasn't made them all too arrogant or like won't go for the ego peaks either. Wait, what?
Huh? Oh
What?
no, oh no. That op is now gone. Not sure what happened there. Ryan detected already. The Seeker's bugging out again. 2 rounds in a row. Dynamic though finds the shot onto Nismo. It's all falling apart for Ghost. Oh no, all it took was one, I don't even know, miss peek, I guess, from KoalaNoob. And now there's only 2 left alive for Ghost. We saw 1 round already won by the Mafia, but they need 3 more to catch up. There's 16 seconds left, and they're making their way down to A, and there's nothing at all in terms of utility to stop them. Plan's gonna go underway, and it seems like it's been called again to go for the save. Quinn, the Astra, hiding away again, saving their utility. I'm not sure what the money looks like going into this next round for Ghost, but losing that op, that's gonna be a huge struggle.
Yeah, especially if they want to give the Mafia an op. I mean, Dynamic already has his operator, so it's not like he needs one to pick it up. 2 ops on the defense, also maybe not the best idea, but just losing that economy. And this time it seems like they're a little more open to going for the hunt. We see Dynamic holding that angle, and when just sitting, waiting for a peek, I don't think they're going to get that far before the spike detonates and the timer runs out, though. And well, for Ghost Gaming, I guess you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, each time though, we've seen the Mafia make a mad dash at the end of the round towards A, and you could tell Ghost Gaming, they were set up for that play, right? They had the tripwires, they had KoalaNoob on the op ready to go. But as soon as KoalaNoob went down and left Chase by themselves, they got overwhelmed at some point, and that just left A completely exposed again.
I'm not even sure what happened there, because KoalaNoob definitely saw Miniature just standing there for a hot second. But I think it was just unscoping at the wrong time, couldn't scope back in fast enough, not sure. It's really hard to say.
Who knows, right? That's like one of those post-interview questions we have to ask. But KoalaNoob though, look at the response from last round. They're gonna push up so far ahead. The Cyber Cage in the way. Dim Sum looking to find a little bit of posturing towards garage to make sure no one can push out. Oh, but hello again! What a great response, KoalaNoob! That was frame perfect almost.
That was such a good flick on A, and that just opens up a lot of space on this map. Nismo trying to hold them back with the guiding light, and the flash is just the delay. The concussion as well. No repulse to slow them just a little bit more. Dim Sum Boy is going to be able to take down Nismo, and Ryan also goes down without even a fight. So there it is, a retake situation as the spike goes down for the Mafia.
Those Blade Storms are out though. In conjunction with the op, Astral Divide dedicated towards the Mafia with only 2 left alive is an interesting choice, but look at this though! It's working out well. No audio cues to be heard, no way of finding out where the exits could be. KoalaNoob uses the ult, can't even fire off a single blade as of yet, but this could be a good chance to remove the op though. And it is! Dynamic to fall!
Yeah, there's no one to follow up on Dynamic either, so it's interesting how they go for the individual hunt. I mean, Dim Sum Boy is all on his lonesome and very low health, and KoalaNoob doesn't get baited by the little bit of wallbang damage, but is being completely hunted down, and Critical eventually does get that kill and pick up the operator for his teammate. So Mafia finding their stride a little bit now.
Revenge is normally best served Ghost, right? I mean, that was a fantastic flick onto the Cypher, onto Miniature, but unfortunately, that was really the only really nice play from Ghost that round. The tank onto C-Side from Mafia was just so well done, and it was a shame that we saw the dedication to the Astral Divide being brought out so late. But on the other side, KoalaNoob uses the Blade Storm, and it doesn't quite have much of an effect either. So we are seeing a little bit more confidence and aggression coming up from the Mafia, which is what I like to see. And Nismo is forced to relegate their positioning again. Wynn's waiting on the other side. But it's always a guessing game what Mafia wants to do next on the attack.
I mean, this time A has been left completely open, not even a tripwire, and it seems like whatever they're doing right now has drawn a lot of rotations towards the C side and B side, but it would be so easy for them to go for the A take now, and this might be time to call the rotation. Of course, the Owl Drone goes out, and that's going to slow the push a little bit, give the defenders some more time to rotate onto the A site in case they read their push, and it seems like they have. Look at all the people that are flocking over to the A site like geese. But with only sheriffs, I'm not sure how much power they have to stop this push. They do have those smokes from the Astra, and the guiding light goes out. Nilia's finding their controller, and so many kills in unison.
This is a bloodbath, Tala, and there's only 2 left alive. Now, we do see Huynh picking up the Vandal here. They have to drop down to use it, though. And unfortunately, we don't even get to see that. They die in heaven. They return to the angels above. Mafia, though, are able to tie this up so effectively well.
Good push from them, but they did have the gun advantage in that round. However, last few rounds, Ghost Gaming seemed to be at a loss for countering what the Mafia is doing. They're playing very defaulty at the beginning, looking for some space or some room, and even though they did read the push after the drone went out to A long, they still were not able to stop it, even though they were able to get to site on time.
We can see the return of the Koala Noob op, though. Astral Star's in the way. No guessing shots, though. There is an op on the other side, but no, the push goes through. The flick misses, and Koala Noob's able to get away with their life, but it was all nullified out. No one took any damage at all. There is some info to be gained. Koala Noob especially, and the Hunter's Fury forced to go up above. More utility to be used, and still hit, but not one. Okay, no, just one Hunter's Fury. And the Mafia pushing on forwards. One Hunter's Fury is able to find some damage to death on Nili's. With 3 left alive for Ghost and a heavily damaged Koala Noob, Huynh forced to pick the fight, takes down Miniature. Dims by themselves, though. Straight shots, though, to come by. Missing the shots again. Chases by themselves on the other side of the map. Really cool butterfly knife.
Yeah, it's a very cool butterfly knife, but it seems like Ghost Gaming is falling apart just a little bit. It's like they're not very coordinated on the defense as of right now. Some players are pushing, some players are playing a little bit more back, and the trades just aren't coming through. And it kind of has to do with the fact that they are very spread out across this map, which is probably why they leave that tripwire on the B site instead, and placing more players on both ends of the map. But still, they are just overwhelmed by the manpower that the Mafia has, and they are going to put themselves in an advantage now.
I'm trying to think, like, what's going on at the beginning of the round, right? Because that's the whole big crux of how the Mafia are able to make this succeed, right? The whole game plan for Mafia is to really be super aggressive in one condensed area. And that last round, we saw that on, you know, the beginning of C, on C long. And they were able to find that intel. They were almost able to find Koala Noob too. There was so much ult utility being brought out for it, right? But then we see the rotate go all the way around towards A. And by then, that was, what, at least 2 or 3 kills for the Mafia taking down Ghost. And by then, the numbers for the defense have been so thinned out that even if you wanted to go for the retake, that's so difficult to do on the defense for Haven. And Tala, you talked about this in the pre-show. When it comes to Haven, it can be hard to say at times whether or not this map, unlike others in TAC FPS games, is attacker-sided. But in this case, when it's a mirror matchup like this, I think the Mafia are playing this attack so well into their favor.
The Mafia definitely know that if they just completely rush a site at this point, where to put that aggression into a very short period of time in short bursts, then it seems like Ghosts can't handle it at all, since they will always have the advantage on a site unless that it is stacked. And the utility, since the Cypher places one of those tripwires on the B site and doesn't go to defend it, they do have a little bit less utility, and Cypher isn't as much of a site denier since he doesn't have as much damage. Just that trip that can no longer be dashed through, but can easily be shot.
And so we just get over a timeout that comes by. that might be a critical one here. 4-5 now. Mafia, we're down 4-1. I'm sorry, 4-0, not too long ago, but they've been able to achieve 5 rounds in a row at this point. I'm curious to see what the response can be. We do see Koala Noob now with just a classic pushing on forwards with the rest of the army. Vanilla's seemingly the only one. There is an op on the other side. Dynamic finds one, able to skirt their way out. But look at this. Miniature using the cyber cage, looks for the spray fires, does have some intel to come by and chase the imposter to fall. But look at this though. 3 left alive for Ghost Gaming. They're able to tie the odds. Ryan hiding with the Ghost, but no, it doesn't quite work out with the Judge. The fall all the same. That timeout, Tala, holy. Because Mafia are good for the half.
Ghost really tried something different, and I enjoyed the aggression. They really pushed out, tried to challenge them on their own turf. So it was more like the Mafia was defending at that point, and Ghost was attacking their spawn. But the idea was there. The trades were good, but they just seemed to have more info. The Mafia was able to tag someone through that cyber cage, and taking down Chase there, it just leaves them a little bit naked at that point because they didn't have enough gun power, I think, to contest that.
I'm inclined to agree with you. Seekers do go out though, some info to be gained. But look at this, Dynamic already onto the site. There are some spray shots, rogue shots if you will, going through, and it's able to connect a little bit, but not enough to really write home about. Nismo does have the doggy. Can't quite find a lot, goes back to the kennel. Nismo now, with just the Judge, needs to get onto the site, but there's a dog in return. They don't find much either themselves. Ghosts love to go for retakes on side of the spike. This should be their bread and butter play. Astral Divide goes through, blocks off Dynamic the rest of the attackers. Diffuse attempting to go through from Nismo. The push goes in, but no, Nillis was detected! This is so good, and the Mafia already down 1 body, but only 1 death has gone by. More and more to go through. Red to green, green to red. Miniature to find 1, make that 2, a triple kill! No, a 4K for Miniature! But no, Ryan was the last line of defense, and the Mafia made it work!
He had no right. Miniature had absolutely no right to just walk right through that cosmic divide and somehow get 4 like that, defending that spike, and Dynamic just has to clean up. What was this? Why was this allowed? Oh my god.
In and out, in and out. The motion, quite literally, it felt like, of the ocean coming by. Miniature, good lord. And
that was just a drive-by.
Oh man, we talk about Ferrari peak sometimes. I think we just need a new term for that, the miniature peak. No right at all. But my god, was that fun to watch. Info goes through the... What happened to the bird? It like froze.
I don't
These
know.
animals have broken out of the zoo and they're acting so strange. There must be some sort of outbreak going on for these animals. But look at this, 2 left alive now. Koala Noob and company forced to re-rotate over towards C site. The Mafia have completely overwhelmed C and the rest of Ghost team. And Miniature good for 1 and another 2K.
Oh, Miniature, doing so much work right now. But it's worth mentioning in that last round, the reason that he was allowed to literally just weave in and out of that wall was because of Critical's dart. He got so many assists off that last round because Miniature was just waiting for the info and nobody for some reason shot the dart. He literally went face to face with the Judge and somehow came on top of that. And it was just... yeah, C2, and then there's a dart, and then we know who's there, and then he knows where Koala is, and then he goes over. But that was so good. And also just a little bit embarrassing for Ghost because they had the setup. Because it was so good. It was the first 5v5 retake that we saw in the game so far. They had all their players alive. They were in a good position to defend it, but for some reason just, let's weave a little bit. Let's go in and out. Let's drive by. And then the Mafia takes that round.
Good lord. Well, I blinked, Tala. I blinked, and Dynamic finds the opening pick for the second half.
Well, I guess they call themselves the Mafia for a reason.
I guess so. They do more than just cut off thumbs. Holy. I mean, what else is next? I don't want to mess with these guys. Recombo goes through, but look at this top of C-Long. Miniature waiting to strike, finds one. No! The reload denied! No! Win! Goes chase for the Mafia peak themselves, knifing Miniature away. That must feel so cathartic if you're on Ghost, but look at this, the damage may have already been done. A 3v3 for the retake now for the Mafia side. Dynamic's able to find one and leverage the odds, not once but twice now through. Chases the last one alive. The recon bolt finds them out. He's good for at least one, but on the other side, look who's there. It's gonna be the good fellas. Oh my god.
The double swing. Oh, wait. He's 1 HP. Uh-oh.
I didn't even realize.
Oh my goodness. And actually, that dynamic is already halfway to the Blade Storm, which is really impressive. So getting 4 kills in that first round of the half, I think that's actually doubling his KD, but 4 points towards the ultimate. Not sure if he gathered an ultimate or either. So that might just been purely off gun skill, and now that puts them up on the Spectres and almost to double digits for the Mafia. And this is actually just proving that Haven is not really attacker or defender sided. It's just about how you play.
It just exists. It feels like a TDM matchup right now. Some utility is being brought out, but the spike has been pretty much a non-existent factor, right? Like, we do see the spike go down, but I don't think we've seen a single defuse this entire map.
We haven't.
This is a TDM lobby right now. Miniature, though, hiding on CT stairs. Does get blocked out by the Cloudburst. Pushes through the one-way. Does have the Cyber Gauge and finds Koala in the process. No way. Well, let's see if we're wrong about that, Tala. The spike's going to go down. Ample time maybe for the Mafia. 3 to 4, though. Might be able to find the retake. Look at Chase, though. Hiding down below from big window. Waiting for the push-up. Here's the sounds. Great peek, a dry one at that. Turns into a wet peek from Dim, but the double swing comes by and almost finds one. The damage, though, really good. 3v3, though. Still nothing just yet. Nil, able to find a little bit of healing for their teammates. Hiding at C-Long, though, and a lot of utility to be expended for this retake. It's up to Ryan, though. Topmost attack, finds 2. Might be good for 3, and no, they're not, but Quinn's there to clean it up.
Yeah, just hiding in long through the smoke. And that's basically where you expect a Sova to play for those lineups, especially if the shock darts are available. So when playing far back was pretty much the closest thing they would have to a guaranteed winning that round, because as long as you let that spike tick down and stall for time, then it's going to be pretty hard to get the defuse. Oh, it's the first round on the defense. Was apparently
it was a defuse.
I think we watched it happen and we didn't register it was happening because they were just trying to kill each other.
But I mean, doesn't that play into our point too, right? 2 defuses out of all of these really wild rounds that have gone down. Like that, like the defuses have barely put into the story. It's been mostly these amazing gunfights we've seen between both teams. Speaking of which, though, where are those tripwires? There's no utility. It's a running gun. Qualifies 1. Make that 2. Opening pick is so nice, but critical with the shorties. Good for 1. Great confirm to come by, but damage has already been done against the Mafia.
The Mafia down to 2 players now. They do have a Blade Storm for themselves, but with the control of the site, Blade Storm, not sure how much utility it has in a retake. Neural Theft 2 points away, but I'm not sure that Miniature can get the kills. Been really clutch in the past, but with only a Sheriff against Koala Noob's Vandal that has been looking really pristine. Not sure this is the round.
Wow. 90% of that final bullet went into the wall. The final bit of shrapnel just lodged into Cypher's skull to take them down. Dynamic's stuck. The spike will take them down certainly, if not 1 of 4 left for Ghost Gaming. Rogue shots came by, doesn't do a lot of damage. Dynamic at this point just needs to sneak out. And luckily for them, everyone who was on Ghost sneaks away on the other side, but Dynamic actually wants to chase after them. Maybe able to find something, keep them behind, distract them, but no! Worst case scenario.
At least it doesn't count as a kill, and he does get the utility, or he does get the economy from dying there.
That's very true.
So, you know, maybe it was the only thing he could have done in that situation. He didn't have a gun to save, so just chase after a kill, maybe get a little bit more money for the next round. And Dynamic still is not able to buy, or he is able to buy a gun, but instead, I think he's opting for popping that Blade Storm this round, trying to get a round back, break that win streak for Ghost Gaming, shut it down before it even comes into fruition. But it seems like they are finding their stride on the attack now.
Now he's going to be blocked out by the Nebula up on top in Garage. There are going to be 3 different bodies there. The Recon Bolt not able to find much except for maybe some nooks and crannies inside Garage, but Nilly certainly aware that there are bodies inside. Does spot out Koala Noob, can't find the shots. Might be forced now to go for the re-rotate. But Dynamic's already pushed up. Spotted out themselves though, with the Blade Storm no less. It's been popped. A lot of options now for Ghost to push through. There's 1 minute left on the clock. Tala, not a single member of Mafia have gone aggressive.
They're just holding, but you know what the riskiest thing is? Dynamic was solo holding A for quite a bit. Critical is now there to back him up. And he throws one knife out, has to dash to get away from all that damage, but the Seekers are going to find out their position soon enough, only able to destroy one. Dynamic caught by that gravity well, and Koala Noob win chase. So many kills coming to the side of Ghost Gaming, and it's all left up to Miniature now.
You could say this playbook looks really familiar from Ghost Gaming's side. It's the exact same attacking structure we saw the Mafia themselves bring out when they were on the attack not too long ago. Miniature now last one alive, maybe trying to look for exits themselves. Have a Phantom to hold on to and make sure they don't lose it going to the next round. But they are playing these aggressive gunfights on against Koala. None of these shots are connecting though. The push-up is going to be there, and Koala's good for 3, ending the round.
If Koala wasn't able to get that kill though, Win would have been right there behind him to clean up. So it wouldn't have been a total loss, and just not allowing them to take a gun into the next round really helps Ghost Gaming's momentum. And they're just figuring out how to play these explosive executes and being able to take down these players, always having the player advantage on the site. Just more numbers, even if you don't have the gun power, can equal to a positive outcome, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely. Dynamic again, with only just a Marshall, tries to go for the aggressive peek inside of sewers, doesn't quite find much. Sova is baiting it out though. Win with the drone in reverse. Does spot out the jet, so the rotate onto the site's perfect timing for Ghost to take advantage of it, but Dimsum on a saving sheriff is able to find one great pick. Ghost, they don't want to take the risk.
They're still playing pretty passively. I mean, they are set up for that A take and they have a flank watch, but the rotations might be coming out now, and I think they're deciding that a rotation is the safer bet for themselves. Just being able to not meet as much resistance here.
There's only going to be one thing stopping all of Ghost from getting onto C. It's just a simple Cypher Cam. Gets taken out too. Information's been gained for the Mafia. Rotate's already been called. No less the stars in every pivotal point onto the site. Miniature only has a sheriff. We've seen what he can do before on really crucial entryways, but not going to be this round. What's left of the Mafia though, attempting to push through in different angles. Spike is going to go underway. Shock Dart in response to Win, looking for one in Garage. Dim to push up. Nothing just yet though. In fact, I think this is a save. Maybe not.
I mean, they have nothing to lose, or I guess they have something to lose. Dynamic has picked up that Vandal, but Nismo is going to take it right out of his hands. There's the 4K to end that round.
Really nice 4K too from Nismo to clean things up. 8-9 now. We see a really nice return from Ghost Gaming. They've been able to take back 4 in a row here, but if patterns keep repeating themselves, Tala, we saw a 4-0 lead in the beginning for Ghost Gaming before essentially 9 in a row for the Mafia. So anything could happen this coming round, but this is one of the first few rifle rounds we have seen in the second half for both teams.
Now, it's operator time. Both of the teams have taken out that operator, and we saw that setup for the Cypher actually on the A side. I think that is actually a retake setup. But it seems like A isn't going to be the site to retake. Critical, though, is able to find one, and Nilly is too.
complete dismantlement of Ghost, though, pushing into C long. Nearly almost good for one. Solo HP for Huin. Wow, they find the kill off of that. It doesn't last much longer, but a shock to be sure.
Well, if patterns do hold true, and they did hold true, 4 in a row is all Ghost Gaming gets, and then the Mafia turns it over to their side once again. But that was
This goes here.
That was a pretty impressive round for the Mafia. As soon as Ghost bought into that operator, or should I say Dynamic bought into that operator, it seemed like they gained a lot more confidence in holding aggressive angles and not letting Ghost just play that explosiveness of the execute, because as long as they can whittle down their numbers before they start the push, and as they're in their setup mode before they start the actual round, I should say, then it's a lot easier to manage their pushes.
A lot of info to be gained inside of mid. No one there, though, for the attack. Winning company, it's a very quiet match, or walk up onto the site. There's no tripwires to stop them at all. Nilly, though, spotting them out. Tries to go for the pop shots, doesn't quite connect. The Seekers, though, in response, should be able to slow it down. But look, the Astral Wall's in the way. If we know anything from before, Miniature, this is their bread and butter. And the Cypher Cam right up above, there's 2 Astral Walls. And look at this, it's a meltdown between both sides. 2 of Ghosts are able to collapse upon each other, but the Mafia, with only 3 left, are able to find at least a little bit of action. But no, Miniature goes down. Both Cyphers now gone, a 2v2, 40 seconds left, no spike into the ground just yet. Dynamic biding their time. 1 Astral Wall does go away, make that both though, but the damage has already been done. Dynamic watching above, making sure no one can escape from the attacking side. Finding Koala Noob is going to be huge, but Nismo now in a 1v2. It's going to leave himself holding onto the spike. Very little utility left. Guiding Light in 1 second could work out here. Finds one, turns into a 1v1. Now Guiding Light goes down, but it misses. It collides against the box. Now, just with no utility left, 81 HP against an up. Having to watch out for Dynamic. The Cloudburst comes underway, blocking the diffuser. Can't see the push-up, though. Goes on through, but a missed timing from Dynamic allows Nismo to get the final shot.
That was a down to the wire for the Mafia and Ghost. I mean, if he was able to get that smoke off, then it might have been actually able to find the defuse, but this was really well played by Nismo, even after that bird got stuck on the edge of the crate. And that Cypher cam actually helped them out a lot. It was the retake cam predicted, but the setup just wasn't there because of the Cosmic Divide. It was able to cut them off just long enough to get the plant down. If that plant had not been down, however, I think the Mafia might have been able to secure that round.
The Mafia just play such a scary Valorant, right? Like, just in general. Like, I'm always at the edge of my seat when I'm watching them play. It's been almost 20 rounds now, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from both of these teams. But Miniature again just sprays through the smokes, goes for the strafe, and takes down Koala Noob. That's twice now inside Garage this round alone.
Miniature is such a good defender for these sites, and the setup is really interesting. Where is that tripwire on C long? Oh, but the neural theft.
The Cyber Cage in response, though, they assume Dynamics on the other side, and they'd be correct. Pushing through, though, not hearing the sounds. It's going to be 1 Dynamic to fall. Make that 2. Oh, but it's only going to be there. 1 more bowling pin left alive. Ryan, though, in a 1v4. Making their way down towards Sewer's side. They can't back up either. Miniature's waiting for the flank or the re-rotate. No place to move now. Stuck inside Sewers. Ryan pushes up. Nearly waiting behind the green box. The loop around from the Sova. Looking for the collapse. 14 HP in a dream, but nearly gets the final shot. 1 point away from match point in this best of 1.
They have made this game so close, and it's just these moments like this where Dynamic is able to get 2 and Ryan finds that trade. I mean, swinging off of each other as well. Dim Sum Boy was the one who was actually watching the swing from short, but Nilly secured that kill by swinging off that info, just a contact. plays, and now only 2 ultimates in play from both sides is the Bladestorm and the Hunter's Fury, and it seems like a mid setup with the lurk towards the A site, but seems like they want to be more aggressive on A, take out this lurker immediately, as we see Dynamic pushing up with that Bladestorm.
This could be lethal. They hear Chase with the cam, push up, but no, missed the shots, no right click. That's such a strong opener. Dynamic falls. The only duelist on the Mafia now gone. A lot of that space creation no longer there, and Koala, rub it in, is able to take down one more, maybe make it 2. They do.
Shutting down Koala and Garage there, but they still have so much map control now. Look at A site, it's left completely open. It seems like the A push, and Ghost Ryan already on that site, waiting for someone to peek from defender spawn, and Huynh just there to clean up. Clean round for Ghost Gaming there. They just took control of a lot of the map, allowed themselves to get a little bit distracted here, the Mafia, by pushing up that A long, and holding down the flank was Chase, and ducking under. I think he basically just crouched under Dynamic's crosshair, and that's what made him miss.
It's craziness like that, right? That just really changes the entire flow of a round. And the Bladestorm, unfortunate too. You lose out on that because it didn't connect. Oh, but Dynamic doesn't care. They want to go for it again. The Recon Bowl, outside the line of sight. Waiting for it to dissipate. 2 inside sewers to push up here. This could be a B take, an aggressive one at that. There's nothing to stop the push on to B, Tala. And what on the other side?
B is completely open.
And those ults, the Hunter's Fury, you mentioned it yourself. This could be huge here, but we haven't seen it come out just yet. It has to be saved for the post plant. Ghosts, they're able to get that plant down, but they're waiting for their time. They're biting for Huynh on that Hunter's Fury. Not a single defender as of yet can get close. Critical though, might be the one to break that seal. Koala Noob good for 2. The confirms come through. Mafia find 2 themselves, but there's only a few left into the lobby. Ryan trying to place those stars down, make it safer to get, or stop the defuse, excuse me. Critical's so close to that spike, trying to get close, but they want to overextend a little bit, find those bodies to make sure the fuse doesn't go underway, but Critical is good for 3. It's going to leave it down to Ryan. Where are those stars? They can't use anymore. They don't have that utility, and Nelly's is able to find them instead. That's match point. No, there's no time.
Is there?
Is there?
Is there?
No!
Oh my god,
4 seconds!
Oh my god. That was so close, and you saw Critical running just in case.
Oh.
That's actually kind of funny. He ran away from the spike while his teammate was defusing it. The lack of faith.
Yeah, all right, have fun, buddy. You can deal with that.
Yeah. If you die, I won't die with you.
Every man for themselves.
Truly.
But 11-11 now. This is the most important round in this entire matchup. No matter, obviously. It's math, right? Whoever wins this goes to match point. And there's no other maps to work with here in this matchup as of yet. This is a best of 1, Tala.
They might be going into overtime, seeing the way that they're trading rounds back and forth on this attacking half. But this time, getting pretty aggressive. The Guiding Light is actually able to keep them a little bit safer. And Dynamic, a 2K with a shorty. Okay.
All right, sure. I mean, why not, right? This round, this whole map has been wild. So why not have the double shorty? But Chase is the last one alive. He catches out the lone Cypher. There's still 2 left. Certainly the Mafia knows where Ghost Gaming's going to be, but with a minute left, the Neural Theft's going to come out. You might as well at this point, right? But Chase has that info. Recon Bolt in return. They roughly know where Chase needs to be. No spike in their possession at all. They'd have to go through the entire map around to gain it back. 45. No way of getting out. That's match point for the Mafia.
And they did it on a thrifty too, just running up A long. I feel like that play is done a lot by the Mafia, especially with Dynamic just leading the charge with either a Bladestorm or I guess like a pistol in this case. And this time it worked out for them, and it's just such a high risk, high reward play because you never know who's going to be waiting there. This time it was the entire team. I think the Mafia has actually had less success with their A long rushes when they meet like just Chase on his own when he's holding the flank than when they see the entire team and they're just right there even though they have the gun disadvantage, somehow able to secure those kills. And that is somehow the strength of the Mafia. Having an eco round, but still being able to kill an entire team by full rushing them. They have more luck killing an entire team than they do killing a lone Cypher.
I mean, the playbook between these two teams has been all over the place, but in a good way. And I'm only noticing one tripwire on the map. I'm curious to see where that second one's going to go. Oh, there it is. It's placed down right when the barrier's going to come down. But Ghost Gaming, they're going to try this A-rush again.
Another A-rush for Ghost Gaming, but this time it seems like they're not prepared to actually go for the rush. A lot of defensive utility this time around, with Critical and Miniature being the ones that are defending. Oh, okay.
Wrong opening pick. The top fragger for Ghost to go down immediately. And look what the response is going to be. Ghost, they haven't quite left. In fact, they're going to double dip again. They're going to try to go through directly where Koala had fallen. Nismo does have one guiding light to work with here, and Seekers. Critical behind the green box does spot them out. The Hunter's Fury in response is going to be huge, but Nismo still hasn't moved. No environmental cover. They find the strafe, and Chase is able to clutch it up. That's going to leave nobody left on A. Everyone else on Mafia had to go for the retake. But those Seekers, remember, we talked about them. They're going to block Nillies in the way. And now the response is going to be to get out of A. They don't want to go for that whatsoever. They're going to go to where there's no defensive utility at all over C.
Oh, but the Bird, they know that the rotation is coming out after waiting on A, but they still have someone staying there. They don't
Cypher
know.
Kim.
Oh.
Cypher Kim's huge to watch CT. Nilly, though.
Left.
Garage side. Individual pushes need to come through. Dynamic blinded out, looking for one to rotate their way through green box, but the Astral Wall is going to be the bane of their existence at the moment, at least. Now, Dynamic pushes through. They fall to another Cypher. It's going to leave two left alive, both having to deal with this Astral Wall at different points. Chase again, looking to find who crushes through next, but no, Nillius with the save for one, and they go down, but at least a trade comes by, but Chase brings it to overtime.
It's always the Cyphers and the Astral Walls,
Yeah,
apparently.
what is up with that?
I don't know. I feel like the Cosmic Divide is just one of those ultimates that can either help or hurt your own team. Because while they can't shoot at you, you also can't shoot at them. So it's a little bit of an interesting situation with it. But that was a crazy last round to bring us into overtime. I mean, it was a good start from the Mafia, taking down their top fragger as well as their entry, but Nismo had a really good positioning there to take them off guard, and Critical went down, and the rotation all the way over to the C site to get a better post-plant positioning. And that brings them into overtime, and seems like Koala Noob is glass cannoning all the way.
And they lowered the price of the op too, so I'm a little surprised where... Well, if it's 4,700, I suppose they can get light armor. But with that being said, still, you're right. It's a huge risk to be seen. Early plant goes down, though, directly onto the site. The Mafia, though, if there's an op, it's going to be so hard to make a retake with that utility or with that gun. The blinds or the smokes go down. Koala Noob and company, both on each side of the link. No one dares pushes through just yet, except for Chase. No Astral Wall this time, but a Cyber Cage will have to do. Thrown up above, the spot went out. They saw how far up ahead Dynamic is, but the spray through the wall is not going to be enough. The op, though, is able to take... No, it's Koala to be taken down instead. It's a massacre, but we can't see a damn thing. Everyone's going down all at once. It's a massacre. Dogs and cats living together. But the Mafia, they don't come out on top.
This time they do have the time for that defuse, so it's no longer the running away while your teammate is defusing. They were able to get it to half, which helps them out quite a bit, and the Mafia getting that early spike down, they look to be in a really good position. But this time it seems the defensive jet carrying on that trend of buying the operator and glass cannoning. I mean, at least lowering the price allows them to buy a little bit of utility, so they have those smokes available, but it seems like the operating jet on the attack is not either a risk either of these teams want to take. But for Ghost Gaming, they were pretty strong on their attack for quite a while in the last half, but Koala Noob being taken down early is going to put a damper in their step.
Man, math is so hard. I thought Dynamic would be able to get an op and armor in that situation, but I am just flat out wrong. But maybe they have plot armor. Koala Noob falls. The whole entire Ghost Gaming sector needs to re-rotate again. They don't want to have to deal with that op again, but look at the response is going to be as well from Dynamic. They're going to go all the way over towards A. They're expecting Ghost to rotate, and they would be playing it into it perfectly. Towards A long, Dynamic holding the angle again. There is the recon bolt. It's going to affirm what they had believed. Ryan pushing through, assuming that they're safe. The recon bolt spotted out again.
Oh.
Dynamic hunting them down one by one. The great, most dangerous game. Nismo to fall. There's no more initiation, or at least blinds to do so. It's up to what's left of Ghost Gaming now. 13-12. Not match point just yet. We could see another part 2 of overtime. But everyone's at a standstill.
Now sneaking into short. Oh no, that is such the wrong time to
30
be
seconds left.
doing that.
Dim.
But it is fine.
Dim.
I was afraid that Chase would swing Dim right as he went into
Dynamic
astral
does it
form.
again!
Oh!
Last player standing.
And now they have the Blade Storm! They just crushed down on Ghost Gaming, but again, it's not match point just yet for this best of one. It's flawless, sure. That's 13-13. This could just be a battle of the defense.
Whoever wins the defensive side, or whoever wins the attacking side actually, might just win the game, because we talk about attacker side at Haven, ha ha ha, but it seems like the defending side is what both these teams are winning. So it's more about who wins the attacking side, and even though that operator came in so clutch for Dynamic in that last round, he's bought into the Phantom this time, and once again, not the attacking side operator. No big risks. This is overtime. This is for all the marbles. All the eggs are in one basket.
Oh, beautiful sacrifice, dog. Thank you. But look at this gravity well. So much utility expended. And Dynamic and company not hit by a single one. Plan's going to be baited out to go underway. But look at this. It's the response to go towards C.
Oh.
And Ryan's hiding in the corner. It's going to work out a little bit, right? Dim finds the trade. Ryan's almost undetected. But hello, it's the entirety of Mafia on the other side. A minute left. But would that even matter with the spike already going underway? Win tries to go for the rotate themselves. There is a tripwire in the way. It's going to make Koala use of utility, but it turns into a kill. Oh no, they can't back up. Oh yes, they can. Miniature goes down. They're able to get away, sure. That spike is down. All the defense, Ghost Gaming, individual plays, sure, could push up here. No visual from the Mafia as of yet. Guiding Light in the possession of the sky, though, is going to go down from one side. But look at this on the other. Critical good for one. Oh my god. Shock Dart in the possession. They don't know about one pushing up so far, but the double straight, the double pinch. Twins good for one. Make that two. That's it coming in clutch. It's a 1v1. The defuse attempting to go underway. Nearly no Guiding Light. Goes for the spray and praise, and it comes out on top. The Mafia take the attack.
Oh, they have won their attacking half, and their last defense was a flawless. So this is Ghost Gaming on their back foot. They do have the economy reset, so overtime really helps them out in that way, but Dynamic once again has bought into the operator, and that makes everything just so much harder for Ghost Gaming, because he has been hitting those shots and being able to hunt them down and somehow find the read on this team, because this time positioned toward garage, C-sided, which is exactly where Ghost Gaming is going. So Dynamic always seems to be in a pretty good position, but not positioned towards C long, so can't stop this push.
Guiding Light goes through. Dynamic blocked out by a gravity well and visually as well. Ghost Gaming have the site.
A 5v5 retake this time, and we have seen how these go.
Miniature goes for the spray, takes down one. Ryan to fall, no more controller utility to work with for the attack. Now the defense, more comfortable. They have the numbers advantage. They can push on in. They're able to take down these gunfights, but no one's checking from behind. It's a meltdown from the Mafia. There's only one left. Nismo falls. It's a defuse from the Mafia. They win double overtime.
Double overtime is where the Mafia decide to pull on through, and that brings them to the next round of this tourney night.